What's up, everybody? Here to talk about Solid as Solid Gets, the latest Adamic single. This is one of my very, very favorite songs that we've ever written as a band. If you watched Ian's lyric video, he talked about how this song was, like, the music for this song was written in 2013, which blows my mind. And he even said that, he came up with that phrase way back in 2013, solid as solid gets. And if you're a fan of Adamic, 2013, that would be before our first album came out. That's the year we started this band. That would be before What's My Name came out, before that instrumental version of Traveler came out, before we had any music out for people to hear. That song had been created in its base form, and that's still, like, it blows my mind that it's that old. Here we are 10 years later and it's finally out. But that's the way it seems to go with us. We keep writing all these songs and or at least writing these music ideas. They're not complete songs, but then we revisit them years later and add to them, and they become the new Adamic stuff. So this idea for Solid as Solid Gets, it was originally called 70s rock, because it was just straightforward, sort of a 70s jam band type vibe to it. I can't even think of a good comparison, but it just had that vibe. It was very different for us because back then, when we wrote songs, it was just the two of us, and we would write songs based on how they sounded when two people were playing them. Because, like, even if we played a show or something, it was just me and Ian. So a lot of our songs were based on how much can we sound like a full band with a riff or with a chord progression. We didn't even get Josh on bass until I think 2017 is when he started playing with us, and that changed everything. And of course now we've got Andrew, and that just made everything a million times better. So back then we would write that way, but this song wasn't really written that way. If I'm trying to remember, because it's literally a decade ago, but I feel like I remember that having this idea for this song, and even though there was, like, almost nothing to it, like, all we had was the bam, 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 bam. Like, we were trying to build on that and do things with it, but kind of, like, keep it low-key at the same time. And I remember thinking, like, okay, this is going to be like a layer song. Like, whenever we go to the studio, the layers that we add to that as the song progresses, like, that's what's going to make this song interesting and cool. But we couldn't, like, really replicate that, because back then when we made a song demo, we still do, we just record it on our phones, us just jamming together. And so all we had was that cell phone recording, which I don't have on a hard drive. I was searching for it. I know Ian's got it, but it's not on any of the drives I have. I do have the demo version of Solid as Solid Gets, which I'll play a little bit of it for you here. But we had that core idea. Ian had that phrase, that lyrical thought, and fast forward to 2021, and we're deciding on recording. At the time we thought it'd be an EP. It's a full album now, and we decided to go with the next group of songs that we had planned after Sayings. And this was on that group of songs, so we decided to go for it. And we demoed out Solid as Solid Gets in 2021. A lot of it is pretty much there. There's a lot added when we actually recorded it, but I'll just play you a little bit of the first verse here. Like, nothing in those gaps yet, just a bass solo. So yeah, you can see basically how far it's come. There are so many more things added to that we did when we recorded it with Andrew Stanton. And but yeah, you can see like, okay, this is the basis of what we had. So I do remember that we got particularly stuck on the bam 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 bam, like even in the lyrics. So like the song starts with this sky, this sea colliding in me. Like every word was like perfectly synced to the guitar part there and that main thing. And even like the chorus, even though it plays something different, I'll play you how the second chorus sounds on this original demo. So you can hear how it like keeps that same cadence. Everything was like that, which is like a great foundation. It's a great groove. It's a great like motif or whatever. It's super simple. I remember the chorus was something like Rockwell, bum bum, Alloyd, bum bum. You know, of course, substitute Ian's voice in that, but literally like every word was doing that. And so when we went to record with Andrew, had been working on other songs, and we went to lunch with him one day, and I remember riding in the back of his car, and we played that song for him. We played this demo, and it had the vocal part on it. And I remember him saying like, yeah, there needs to be something else on that chorus, because it's just like it's like a little too repetitive. And we were like, yes. Like, sure, you know, like, because we were like just stuck, writer's block, whatever. And Andrew said like it should be something like dun 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 dun, and like sort of this droning note, because like the chords underneath are moving up and down, so holding that note, one note, while the music's moving underneath it, makes it really interesting when it's over different chords. We got back to the studio, and Ian and Andrew, they had to like sort of rewrite the chorus that we had, because there like wasn't enough words to fit the syllables. So I remember them, you know, kind of sitting together, and Ian and them were kind of bouncing ideas off of each other. And that's always amazing to me, you know, because as they're writing, you know, you have to come up with new words. You have to come up with more to add to whatever the song is. And it's almost like as they were writing these extra words or these extra parts, it like defined what the song meant in like a deeper way, which is really cool to me. Because, you know, I remember Ian saying something like, yeah, it's like, oh, like, okay, this means this and this pertains to this. Of course, like he understands what he's getting at. He knows the point he's trying to make. And most of the time, like like I said, I usually don't realize or grasp the complete meaning of his lyrics until the song's already out. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that came together, and we recorded the chorus vocal on that. And I remember just being blown away, because hearing him sing that part while everything else in the song was moving around, and then we put in like these oohs and ahs, as thing going on in the background, and like all that together, I was like, wow, like this is amazing. Like this is like, I was so excited. It was like one of my favorite choruses we've ever had, like ever. We did that, and then we jumped to another song, and because we knew this particular song, Solid, was going to be a very important track, we decided to come back to it later. So so the anticipation was building, because I was so excited to hear everything completed vocally, and all the new parts and the harmonies and all that stuff. But we didn't come back to this till we had finished recording everything else. So I think that was part of why this kind of like stayed my favorite for so long, or the one that I was most excited about, was because I was like waiting to hear the completed thing for so long, and I was so excited about this idea. Major props to Andrew Stanton for helping us write that part. It gets hard sometimes whenever you're writing and demoing and recording and all this stuff, because after a while it's almost like you don't know what's good anymore or you hit a wall or writer's block. That's been the coolest experience, you know, doing these songs, not just by ourselves, but having a producer and another voice in the room that would guide us to make something better, or to challenge us to make something better where we might have said good enough or whatever. So the song got finished, and there were a lot of parts that got added to it. All of the noises going on in this song are guitars. Like, for instance, the beginning of the song that has the sort of reversed guitar reverb, and there's this chimey thing that sounds like a synth pad or something. We actually took a Sharpie marker, and I was tapping it against the strings of the guitar while we had this reverb on it, and it was like a clean tone. And I was doing it to this sort of syncopated rhythm, and it sounded like these chimey, beautiful, otherworldly sound. Like, it doesn't even sound like a guitar, but it is. And I remember it was one of the very last days we were recording down there. As it was, the song just started like, bah, bah, like the words started right there. It just threw you in the middle of it. And so we put this intro on it, and it was like, it changed the whole thing for me. Like, I already loved it, but it made me love it even more. That intro like redefined this song, and even like this whole record that we made. It sounded so like bright and hopeful, which Ian talks about that. And you know, there's a reason he's a lyricist, because I keep saying the same thing over and over. It felt bright, it felt hopeful. And like the artwork, this artwork of the blue sky, that was a painting that I had made, and Ian took it and did a bunch of cool stuff with it. But that looks the way the intro sounds to me. That sky where it's like clouds are sort of breaking up, and you can see like the blue, and you can just feel like, oh, like finally sunshine, finally like hope, and finally, you know, this is breaking up, and you know, you can see the clear blue sky again. And that's the feeling I got from this. You know, everything that Ian wrote for this song is just so, it's so powerful to me. Like, I just listened to his lyric video, and you know, really hearing him laying all that out, and it just like blows my mind that he could take, you know, the imagery of, you know, the metalworking terms, and you know, your own soul and your own personality, and you know, trying to bring like these two separated parts of you back together and let God use you. And it's just, that is like a lifelong thing to me. You know, it's kind of like, it sums up what it is to be alive, and to seek God, and to try to walk with God, you know, and it fits the music like so well. I'll go ahead and play you what that last chorus sounds like on the original demo. Just trying stuff all over. So you see there, you know, a lot of key parts are there, and that high thing going on the last chorus. Let's see if I can solo it. that part feels so good. Like, it's just basically hitting one note, which is like the vocal part where it just hammers that one note, but with the chords moving, it comes off so, like, you know, emotionally charged for me. I feel that part. And I remember when we were getting our mixes for this song, we would send back notes, and the few times that we did revisions, I remember saying, that part needs to be louder at the end. Like, that, it needs to be louder. It's not just a layer in the background, but it's like a new rhythm guitar that goes with the pre-existing rhythm guitar. And then, you know, for the outro, we turn it back down. But like, that part really feels like the climactic moment of the song to me, at least musically on the guitar or whatever. We've actually been playing this song since last summer at our live shows. This has been a regular song in the set, and it's a difficult song to like get right. I'd say we rehearsed it a lot because there's a lot of things that happen in the studio that we came up with there, and we're trying to figure out how that transfers to us as a 4-piece rock band. And it is really, really fun to play. Yeah, I'm very happy with how this song turned out. It's super meaningful to me. Like, the lyrics, like I said, Ian's lyrics touch on something that is so universal, and it says things in a way, you know, it expresses feelings I've had that I've not been able to put into words about life and God and faith. And I think if you dig into this song, into the message of this song, you'll find something encouraging and hopeful, and something that will hopefully help people out who are struggling. So yeah, solid as solid gets. Go listen to it again. Check out all the parts that you may not have noticed before. And yeah, keep sharing the song. Pick one of these up. There's only 50 of them on our online store. And we can't wait to see you guys this summer. See you soon.